Uh, we got a mod, we got a lor. We monjang we pungan ben. We got shidem du kor ka mod. Kwa chi wa lor pa. Ako titai we wala tine we kaya ping. Kaya nyar ku bag ben. Ku bag be pung. Speak taban wan wo jam lul kura ka je lul ka ke monjang. Abyei South Sudan. Uh, Ekulwe 1956 in sife Abyei atakor dufan. Kaya in the tawag line go. Kawobu speech bona moralit in the politician man kan gino Sudan when big politician when ngi background kan Abyei a week ko bu sod bona moralit bu ping renungo eneran mu malap kan Abyei wan de jamo bu lake ke mi Abyei ku we got South Sudanese we got Northern Kordofan kaya ke join kaya mon jang na de join kaya kulela banynom in present Salva Kiir Mayar ene chenga mi che doctor le bas bi ashan bi ga jamo lakin I know ashan ke citizen kin South Sudan ka wo ga bi speak bona mo wala bu ping ko ba jo jam bat ci we speak bona mo wala ci we ga ping ko ba loy ko bi mo jang ko yen ku ci loy rat ko mo jang woni ne tornum ko bi ping kayen bat kanan speech bona loy abi ku ba ben ben ko bagat ping den ko bay speech bona mo wali ba loy ko bi man ran monjang ko bu ping ben e speech ma hem pay chan tin monjang jam alona de Abyei ke South Sudan awi ko ba speech kin ba ping ko tin ke jam ke ngak am net ke ping nen ka de boda bi bel wel kin jinum Sudan ada boda bi bel par jinum ake ga che citizen kin jinum ko ya nem lakin tishito wana jam tin wel bi malwali kel wel ko wel wana kal wel akajo tongo kayen wi ku bu swi de bu ping bi por kana jam.
Became independent in July 2011. 7 days afterwards, after leaving South Sudan when we celebrated the independence, and I went back to England where I had still responsibility as a senior fellow at the University of Oxford, I made a public statement. Many of you will have got it. I said, for 50 years I struggled to get South Sudan its right of self-determination. And I hope actually all of you are youngsters around this table. But I'm sure you will not forget how the word self-determination came to be a slogan of South Sudan throughout the struggle. This is something that a movement that I started and led in 1965 after the overthrow of the Abyei regime, called the Southern Front. For those of you who may not have heard it, Southern Front released the principle of the South Sudan to self-determination. And we base it on the fact that South Sudan was never consulted to belong to Sudan or to belong to East Africa or to belong to anywhere. We had our own problems, our own historical problems. For those of you who are historians who want to read history in life will find out that the British really didn't care about South Sudan. For a long time, the British didn't care about South Sudan. They wanted either to annex it to any of the neighboring countries. But because of what we have come now to even believe ourselves, because we are so unruly, we are so out of law, nobody wants to be with us. The British thought if we were annexed to Uganda, we would disturb a very peaceful community. we were annexed to Kenya, we would disturb a very peaceful community. If we were annexed, maybe Zaire didn't come into picture because Zaire was a Portuguese territory. So we got stuck, and the British decided that we would become an ownership of Northern Sudan. South Sudan really, in political terms, was never part of Sudan in a serious way from the point of view of the British. They just wanted somebody to take care of this animal called South Sudan. And they thought the Arabs would deal with us better than any of our neighbors. I think we all know now how, severely and seriously the Arabs dealt with us. But we were not created as a people to become a property to anybody. And so our people did not accept this. They did not submit to anything. And the struggle went on until you are now vice president of an independent country called South Sudan. But you are not yet accepting the fact that you have responsibility, serious responsibility for this country. You as people, from Kir Mayadi to all of you, I have to say publicly, since you have asked me to come and talk publicly again after I had declared that I want to retire, and just even the book that I wrote, the last book I wrote were my memos, which I'm sure some of you would have heard of and have seen a copy of it. That is my last thing in writing. I want to spend, to the extent that one can be peaceful in an unpeaceful society like the society of South Sudan, I want to stay just peacefully. So you now ask me to come and talk about Abyei. And I ask myself, what role, what right do you as South Sudan have over Abyei? The book that gets quoted around and all this is the book that I titled, the country called Ngok is not yet South Sudan. That's the book. The Lord is here. If there is another book that is a problem, let it be done. Up to now, I still say it in front of you, up to the time you are asking me to talk about Abyei, Abyei is not South Sudan. And you cannot, as Vice President of the Republic of South Sudan, come and sit here in Turale to talk about Abyei as if Abyei was a station or a district of South Sudan. It doesn't work. It is just that you don't want to accept the fact of reality. If you want to help Ngok, you want to help Abyei, you want to help the people of the Dinka who are elsewhere, you have to talk to the country that is responsible for this. Lord is sitting here. I'll never mince my word that up to now, Abyei is not South Sudan. So how do we come and sit as South Sudanese independent country to come and discuss one section of another independent country without that country being here? It's unfair. It is just as unfair as what people like Lord did when they decided, because of the encouragement, the unfortunate encouragement that you people in South Sudan give to these people of Abyei who have a case. They have a strong case. If they have decided, unfortunately, I don't think that they have decided. There is no united opinion of Ngok that says that they want to come back to the South. Because if you go to Khartoum now, we'll get more than the number that is here who will say they are part of Northern Sudan. Is that your role? Is that your role as an independent South Sudan to really come and sit here and decide where this little station, little area called Abyei belongs? When you have signed your own independence, that you are an independent country based on the borders of 1st January 1956. And let me tell you why we chose the 1st of January 1956 as the Southern Front to be the borders between South Sudan and Northern Sudan. Because if we had decided not to take the colonial borders, even this war that has ended with the independence of South Sudan would not have ended now. We would still be fighting on the borders now. But because we knew the North had accepted that the boundaries between Sudan and Northern Sudan were set by the British, and they accepted it, we wanted to hold them to that. Now you don't want to hold them to that. You want to get out some station called Abyei. You want to deal with it as if Abyei is yours. It's not going to work. I don't know if you follow the media. Deng Alor is sitting here. He's been to Khartoum. You hear that tomorrow, a meeting, he may not do it because he doesn't have the money. Khartoum itself is as broke as anything you can think of on health. But if a meeting tomorrow gets the resources and comes with his army and says, I want to set up the administration of Southern Kordofan in Abyei, will any one of you around this table stop it? Will Kir Mayadi stop it? Why are you not being realistic with yourselves? You have a country that has all kinds of serious problems that need you to be sleepless in order to resolve them. You want to pick on problems that are not yours? The borders of Abyei is not the borders of Abyei and Tweed. The borders of Abyei are the borders of Kordofan and Bahrazal, or the borders of South Sudan and Northern Sudan. They are based on the colonial borders of 1st of January 1956. If there are problems that have arisen between communities, the Ngok and the Dinka, I don't know who is the tweet here who would say that, Ngok was not there when he came to be born, or there is a Ngok person who would say Tweet was not there when he came to this well. Our leaders, our elders knew what the borders are. The borders, our traditional borders, are spiritual borders. There is no border that is just a health. It's spiritual. And we as Dinka, by our culture, you cannot claim the land that does not belong to you. It's a curse on you. No Dinka will want to claim the territory that belongs to somebody that is not theirs. That means you are inviting curse on yourself. So all these things you people are doing, I wonder where is it from? Are these things that you got, from your education, from your classrooms, from your what? They have no tradition with it. I don't know. I personally cannot come and really tell you that I know where the borders of Kordofan and Bahrazal are, or where the borders of Northern Sudan and South Sudan are. We have termed them 1st January 1956. They are acceptable to you, your government, as the government of South Sudan. They are acceptable to Khartoum. Where Abyei belongs here ought not to be an issue that is an issue of a crisis between a small section of Dinka with another Dinka, which is Ngok. But I have to say, because things are out of hand, my dear, he said, my dear son, the situation is out of your hand. You are not in charge of your country. This country called South Sudan, you are not managing its affairs. It's out of hand. So any one of us, especially now that you have got the guns into the picture, anybody who has a gun is the man, is the only man people can listen to. And so Twitch has suffered as a result of this, because the guns of the SPLM that were taken to try and protect Abyei from whom? Because Abyei, there's nobody who is claiming Abyei. You are not claiming Abyei. Abyei is part of Kordofan. Until the people of Abyei decide in a proper way, the role that South Sudan should play on behalf of Abyei, South Sudan has failed to play it. And I have been talking about it since the time of the CPA. This Abyei issue has to get Salva Kiir Mayardit as the president of the Republic of South Sudan, because it has become a security. Like it or not, Abyei has become a security for South Sudan. And if it is a security problem for South Sudan must find a way of resolving this security problem, as well as it is a security for Khartoum. Why is it impossible for Salva Kiir or you as the government of the Republic of South Sudan to sit down with Khartoum to resolve the question of Abyei? There are, in the history of the world, there are areas where people trade off. If it is true, I am not sure, I'll tell you, I'm not sure that the community of Ngok really wants to be part of South Sudan. Because there is Deng Alor here, he may want to be part of South Sudan. But is Deng Alor in control of all the Ngok? There are leaders in Khartoum today who don't recognize Deng Alor as their leader. They don't want to be part of South Sudan. What do you do about that? Do you sit in Turale or sit in Abyei or wherever you want to sit and say, we are dealing with South Sudan? You are not dealing with the problem. The problem requires the government of South Sudan and the government of Sudan to sit down and say, the CPA says that the people of Ngok must determine where they belong. It's not that referendum, the referendum that Deng Alor and whoever did it, whenever they did it. Is it a referendum? Where is it now? Where are its results? Deng Alor took the results to Lahai. It has distorted the borders of the two states, because now, even while I am not in attendance, the Lahai maps have been introduced here, and you accept them. He's saying you accept the Lahai maps as the maps that should determine the borders of South Sudan, and you are the vice president of South Sudan, when in fact it was not South Sudan and North Sudan that were in Lahai. What do you want to do to your country? If you are responsible people, you take responsibility. Responsibility has its commitment. And responsibility can lead to death. What you decide around this table can result in a lot of deaths because you are a responsible person in the government. You are not dealing with the problem. The problem is not here. Problem is not in Turale. The problem is not in Anet. Problem is not anywhere. The problem is you as the government of South Sudan to get the government of Khartoum and get a mediator between you to give the people of Abyei their decision. To decide so that they decide once and for all. Are they South Sudanese or are they North Sudanese? You come and claim that whoever is with you from Abyei is South Sudanese. There are people who are from Abyei who are in Khartoum. Khartoum says they are part of Khartoum. And you are two governments of these two countries. You don't want to meet? What's going on? I think that you people, you have played enough with time. You have played enough with resources. You have played enough with the lives of our people. It's time to grow up. I appeal to you, please grow up and become representatives of the government of South Sudan, and let the government of South Sudan become in charge of the life of the people of South Sudan. Thank you.
Itu waladi matan so.
Okay. Junub Sudan, South Sudan, Monjang, ini apa yang relatif Monjang. Wek acha mot, wek acha lorben. Taban, a part of Abyei, malaba Abyei. Acha lai lang mida Abyei on. O kadang ye kinya ke ketin piolish. Kena Abyei ken acha ke piolish. In part of tweet my edit, achan believe malap kena Abyei. Kaya yok be mid kun. Abyei cekan ben be in Kordofan. En ka kitak pin jamal walidi. Monjang ke yelwel Abyei ke part of South Sudan. Yi ke inganga. El tinishen nazam wala tinishen hukuma wala tinishen ba ni chinam tat. Kami da Abyei right now kachin mi dak so Junub Sudan. Run ke amonjang ke gup lakin ke nim a part of Kordofan a part of Sudan. Kaki chapin. When can you attend me ngagwan? Kwa wan te tada ke kulal control chideng alor loy wek ke gara ni shol mading kuluka byong in big problem loy ke ga biay bok. When nang mi da biay now. When aka buga tad mi da biay any hi ke chi ke gam. Lakin fil akhir when ko wan ta lego ko ba ben beri. Ke da ngapiat baloy lakin ti len ben khair del akhar butaw. Ayin jo beray. O ga bi chat pat when ka ga ping jam bona mo wal modut any politician man in South Sudan ko ya lay legwe ko lewe ka ya biay we chat pat ko me la biay ti pay ato ko ken again mana biay ping English en ka ken mana biay che ping English lor bi ran nu ne bu wari tok ken mo wal modut lele ngo ba ping pal jam ma ding wan len jam we ka cha le we shababa biay ko de we bay ti aleka la mit ke jam wala siasin ke jam kwa jo ngok yok ti jam ngok tin mading man a che pyoj mading a che pyoj e wada ye gat ke yi pyoj tinin gat ke yi pyoj sida ne ndur ko agat ke pyoj a che hen ti shogina gat kunumnu e ma ful kachin kin kallo bakaku kallo bakanok chidimen ke di maru in 1956 ekidi maruk 1956 war sita komsin enga kujen msenali bu sita war komsin enga kujen waden bahrarab en Kordofan ke junub ke bar khazal e war chali en ya kenen junub on ter pik wane wogjal wala bar khazal wane kajal bu kay la biay tikin batem war kran chol deng ma jok ay juar chok enga kujen monjang lakin monjang achiri hoji kubulwel ren monjang titita pay adega men tin tweet kunyal je tweet ran pionin by pana kayi ni ne bukor ya ku don pan tweet kakaj ku ya chol ka beri kolben ko ya yok kaju ja pay a chien in for example kwal de ma chien kolwan ko chak ban ting tin sen abdal bagi won jamen ken tweet ma yadit fi juba a ci ban chien bardo a ci wel we ngo ku tweet gam ko dor achan ka kwan wan ko li dola che tiok bo bai tiok achan laj kwani ko la lo tweet ka lo siasa ko ga chelo jinu bitan ku men ka jinu Sudan aw tweet ma yadi kwa chut ko chok baitin men ka jinu ba lawn wir ko chapin jam politician man bona mo wal modut e ken yene lag bañ a part of absolute e kanu yetem biyat Kordofan be ka ja be ke gala tit who are you by the way fi Junub Sudan ke di nganga o tor ke na u panen aken ben be jurshin ka ci kona Kordofan acin kina selem be tem ku be ka ja be la yek secure kay le be ka yek secure ina ka yiko a northern Kordofan tabana ka ken bad bi wok udut jolwe le ke ku bu udut bi jo ben be en bi wok jo daw ko South Sudanese ko northern South Sudanese lakin now aka northern Kordofan in 1956 kunti ale ngogwan ke yan wo jol kala ko yinya yat ke yan wo ke kala ku dengo dudu ko mi di twitch I jam in social media awol mara ku basot bona mal wal kiran di tweet ma yadi ku ba gaping we up to the same to an jam thing de ti chey war bag la ga mi da biya we ga to pat kin tong diaj kwa pa ne deng ma jok ake ga na ngok ringu 1905 jorani jol deng ma jok jodi na biya area bela chat pin dono bela chat pin Kordofan en of nazam kana choka lek deng ma jok deng dugla Kordofan deng biya me motoy ka chi gam en kien loy radmen ku en chi ban kir ma yar chene mat ke ngak ku wade chwad en chi ke chwad nam akuj ka joja pe abri ya junub tan jol ci wajol wok tej ati biya ken ka joja pe jol ci wajol junub tan ren wo long time ago aw bit waka ci ka kaj kwanok waka bit waka ci wuzir junub waka bit ku junub den mal ci yok ti mo anen kirwan ci mal yok on teren ke riyak machar aw waka ke bukto rian ke yen en ki ku pi wan pi leban won khawaja wan le kay di zababa le kay lugi e da na tin jam bona mal wan modut ina le ke kir la tan babu lu obama brako obama wan mejen e nga ku jen hel kir ma yar ku iran ne demen bu jokun kala ka ko ci wo ko jen in long time ago be yang penyi bo jong mo yang pen war ko andi ke tweet ke siasin ci ko kir ma yar aptu bu ben pani awo ke ko ci le bu jonyen ki chandu ben bani awo we kanu kene kay man taban ran en ko ke yin wala ko wan to mon jang le ti choki man ran ma char ko ke pyat ka le doki ke kraj lakin now ko tweet o ga chur ni lakin o ga chur ni pay kene ngo kene ko ti shitin lu ki tin ko a ti pyat pay ko ne pat a ci ka jo pay abri ya junu butan ko cha lu wan tay ko le mon jang jam ti tianga mon jang ke jam ko le tweet ka chi ngang nok ko ke mana e mon jang ji yewe ko mon jang na cham eni jam zeti lakini ay mon jang dil mon jang pure yenni part of Junub Sudan in 1956 etno eni wudu Junub ke Sudan etno ekir atiran kujen den alor kuran chol kol dem ku en mading den ma jok ku yen luka den ma jok ku yen fiang den ma jok control en ci yen mi ngak e use den mi ngak akol jagatin ba gonin for example we mon jang akol yen ci tang tor yo mashara ala kule ku mer mi nga kule ku dier lo kule la biya bu ko yego ala nya ka mi ben ka nok kule la biya anere bu ko yego ala nya ka mi ben ka nok kule la nere bu ko yego ane e pinya biya ane etioma biya yani ka ju da pay ka lwel ke ngak ku ke pande ma juk a chen nang ci ke ngok kon nak chen nang ci rat ko lo ku ne ke cha lwel wan tay in big problem a pay akai ka dia kwangwan e mading e luka biong e fien e na natural kwal dem ku den alor keke abu dial khodi bu ben ka ji junubin ke junub Sudan ka kadit ke ngaka abu kon dial khodi a chugo pol junub tan cha ping in sifie on ten ka sifie tilayin map junubi biya e fado Kordofan bala met Sudan amr biya fado Kordofan ene ta enten ke part of junub wata sifie ko ngi British in Britania ngi a kwana ko wojino bin ko moje apat ko burut al hayit ko yit bu ke galwel ke ga bu yatwen ke ga bu chwatwen renungo ko mit monjang te tawokten in the wall e mas ko burut al hayit ijengo wat kir gidi de jotor te mun kadi joka torka ko mi ngo ga jato lakin fi nyaaya bige jo ben be ke kasranin en bi ngo ga jong ni jalon de in long time ka Yusuf ande mo jong lakin o ke now o ga ci ben dak ngo o ga ci ben dak peace okay khalas ay junub dan ye lwel mon jang nan ye lwel ka ja biay ka to dit ka ke ba ka de pan ba ten mi dan ke la lutin ko dan ke lutin a chu gum min zaman da kullu ka gum ke ko pi ti chen loy dot ka chen loy dot o ga ci ko bel ye ba yo ka chen loy dot o tan chol twin ma ya dit ka chen loy dot wo wa ci bena khair ay zol ku ka jo ja pe abriya junub tan abriya junub tan ko ba do ko renin politician man ka ke ka siyasi ni tweet ma ya dit in for example bona mal wal mo chaping di sen jamte ko ngiji sen na mun wan lay sen wan ben la kin yuani ni je na mun isen wan len ben ala poti shidiji ko ka jo ja pe abu rechin fi je wani tan ko abu diel ranton eten wol den wol chu kan por ke den wol do man ter tong na den jot be ya biay ni minister of defense ko lay lay sen ka ko la ko na jow ko la tor de ma bien ko la dien ma top ke ka di a chu kan pol ko bu diel ko di pcp ko quran but kenen ko la tin ko butin bu wi ci wo tej o ka wa ci ka chwali le boblel ke siasa be pij ka ciran waro wakte pande ma jogene ke cika waja ngi mun bi ka waja wala mun bi UN abu nyuja biyay e malwal awo pij nation kun mun bi yene bu nyuja biyay e bon malwal modut wa bi ashan bi ke ga yek secure bu jur bi ci ban bi ci ke nok ku ci mu ay mojrim ban bi ke ga nok e security a ci go be wel mun ka ke da ci ke real ke ga ci UN nit acteur mun tuej wen enka wan liya ma di ngeen ku jole ka kat bala America law ko ba biay bala ben be ke dola go yar yal wala tag chuer ken ko len lak dir tong le kwal $15 million ben jinubi ku ban ka mamini ka wajat ba kumto ka kan wan ke ka de maaw be ke ka kumto ko ba biay be ke dola de nam chok ayo ayayo chok de kunom ne achila liu wan bi ala tag chuer ka ja bu chuer ben jinubi tuma kwal we jinub cha biay ben be ke dola ke ka bu ka jo cham ka we monjeng mi da biay ran chol kir mayar ina bi kam yal pa ci so sudanis khalas a ci so sudanis e ma den kir me da wina lor kir ko ma met ke kir mun long time go ke ki ka akay ko rut kat ci pat de ra kat kene ti den tin kir akay jur kan kir ko lakin wakti wa ci kay ko liam jinubi tan choga man ci kir wo yek let down chen kay kwa nok ku choga man chen ranan wuzir ku choga man chen wo mian hukuma ku choga man chen mian everton kan yali ayo ko le wat biro junub wat ci wok junub loel junub ci benbe ale bo nyal yale yo tuet lakin wa ci kan pat kir ko ci ti ci ka rut patin abinya dom ko bi yen kir bi ka kir ala ko ngin achu kan loy wok mayar ka haja delda achu kan loy pana akay nyal ci tung fay wok mayadit ringu wo ga cheru ka wo ga cheru liem wo ga ror wo ga cheru finus walel ke walel won professeur ke wo ga cheru finus ringu wala bugru liem ku ka ci kir ga lu wok men akaraj wa wo kay ko la piot jol ko ga lu ka ko okumay achu kan loy bi for example achu kan loy ku junub tan men era na ting merero okumay yek tun kin mit ku piot lakin wa ci piot mit wakati ni wuzir wakati ka bangwa nok yidi karbino kwa nyini bole ra wan kan dang moji fe har ka shabe ne tarikh ginu Sudan a ci kire che loy ko kan tu jawaje ne kire mayar ben damanda kullu awa kajen bla toji da awa kajen buwa wijo dan kan naka awa kajen wan bir riya ka bla gwal ka waja awa kajen lakin kin nyin abi kire mayar bi joti now akin kin nyin akin konati bo bi joti now rin ngo ko o mi tweet mayadit wacha ro ka o ga chero kak wala ko rot kokran wala ko pad jiran uga ci piuj ko ga de cin galem ko ga kay tong wala bugi jol wala ti kuir ok tweet aliou kalam de ka o monjang ko lo rat junub ku chak da yin chidemen ka da ka o tweet ma yadit ran ci yo ku bu tiom ne bu nyaay e wade timna bi ay bok ni men ade bay ju ci ka nyaay tin ku monjang de ke ga bit o ga bakini ka da ka o ror o ga ci ror fi nus ka o ror abug loy o ga ci ror fi nus junub ci wa rum ke ka ya biay wa rum ke lig ten banto ku le paljur wan le abi lig en panto wan nyay juren ci wada ka ya biay ke kordofan ci nen pa dok kordofan naw en ko wujbu luy tiom nam kun o ki re radio a ci jackson ya yidim den a ci nok ka yen ci na ne de banting tue kene wada ne ciol ka le ku le bayna kan karo a kan nok tue lakini nyali rawani chak tweet a kan nok kuma rere ne teren kir awo tej wo ga wo pya dok chen lakin bo pya ka jinub ne riak bulu la ke gwat barizi bu bay jinub ka del ko bin jinub lakin pan to no ka chen lo ya wo wan wo ki ba ka yek tap wo ben duk tin bu jinub raj okay a chu wikia ayo ko la ka ke ki kir ka lo wo ben en nyale en jo ka taw e shin ka ki ban ka lo wo ben ke ki dit en nyale en jo ka taw e shin ku nyale jine be tie jine kir man ran e be dek zamane eten ha ku be jal quran pin no ben e nyale ye be ku de kulde be ki dan loy twane bu de loy ka chi kir ka loy twi record ke chi loy twi e man twi je mi jana dol ke kir ka bi kira ting le wan yare gop lakin le je yom ka chi kir ka loy bai pana akaraj be yang pini ko ga ka jien ko na go achin ka kujko ke ko kujko ko ne wadane loyele man na wada tiomna bo sarar ka kuj mon janke abo ka yada yer kulisa mene wo jam ko ayo ko modi rum wa ngoro tir pe waji chirna ku ngaga mitin in lebo len chika totin jinu Sudan wachi choka citizen wachi choka pat kai to mitin kai wana kelwel bai je to mitin a je wana ke citizen ke chi war ken ka bai lwel akika mi ke nak chok naw ko chi mon jang che ting akad wana ke tar bai ben ar ka shabi wana tar jorrada wana ke tar fi fong ben akika limna fi juba wala braloy ku kire je ben ka che junubin ke mi da be ka che junubin bi u chen ga denga lor bi chen ga mara ta den ti kin bi e chokop bi der tong abe bu ke ga ben ato we ni we junub bi we junub jana kwal tu wana $15 million kwal bi ma dinga le la kwal we ku kwal der we ekel ka kidi ke le bu ko loy wa che lu nyap ali bay pan tweet wa ka chin ali ka diet chuer ken chol chuer ken ranet chan ba kwal ku ne ken ale loy an chol jam kol ben ku lele moy tweet ta konti ka kwal we jwe chi ka tatin pan junub mu ne tek junub be rin wo ku ta o pyo e ku le ka pan chon nak ku choka man chikiro chok be bang ko wa chu pyo pelwe taban wa ru chol wa ru jam me da jem rani kuran di jemme wa man zamin wa ipye wa yu moy tweet ka jam ka kilwel elo ni wam yin ci mo lwana ke tan ay kir ka ping ba mana pay e kan ka ci ka bi me ke alwel kwa ka ku tweet net ke kwa ke yene lo yen taban kraj lo yinen bad marat e dugi shin ken kana le len dan yali ken a wendol e radio la ka te paw lakin paw man rana ci la di paw in tay tin naw ci le balat no kwa tan yali tin ku yen yali wo ping rot ku ken ko kwa ndit ka ci kir ka lo wo ka ke karaj mi ke ci joto naw war tioma net ken ke tiom aton ko kur e kan bu ka no yene kir bi be ngo ke bu ban be ku le ngo ku le 1956 ken ki pinyan junu Sudan ci le boloy lakin a wona radio tweet a ci lay nok long time go ci lay time pan ale ko dan tay no boloy tweet kay ka pa tude ko pa metke ani ken wadane lwel a ci tweet gam ko ga ror o ini ci waga ci moj bi nus waga ci moj moy natar a chan bu pana bi kir mayar bu gam ko do pan pa tude en ka ke ga ro kak ci wan tem ke tong go iriel ko la wa ror ko wo tu kono kwa man ti yoke we tuja go yella ko tuja renu instead in label ci ka tawtin jagatin kuraji ene jam junu waay we chai ene mugdab kin junu Sudan ko rani chol dier taw an mo wew junub kak loy ke ben ay ka jo loy pin ku bi ka diaw wo mun mon jang wa ci tuy ka nok wa ci tuy ka loy di wo mun wa mun na zabin ay ka bata zabin kef upan ko la ro bata in the top pari junub Sudan ko ci citizen kini junub ku citizen kini junub da taw ko de mon jeng ko ayu ka jam da ka iran yani e kor fio tiyo ka mon jang ne ka jam ku ki loy la ci yik tok wew ka ja cham wew ka ente tok ka ja je tok moj we cái mon jang ashari dollar ci yigi kene joy ngo jam bayto lakin kene tingele ci de tuy ken abi log dot baden ke gel gu ñen ken wok tej abi log yok baden ke gel gu ñen ken taban ki rara nan ci taal ben nga ci pier me ci taal be limnati e tino do la yone ra loitin lak yan we mon jang ka ci nga ka lo junub tan especially for example achaya we na lor bu mi dawo kuleka to mug Uganda aci me dak rum ka bet ko le ku teme drol ku jo lirnum birat ko achan ku bidaga pay achan ku biki ka chipan ka kid ke e ngaci ko lo junub Sudan ke monjang pan monjang 64 gabila e pano wala ibay kay peji cha comping e wan tayar na tayen tin lakina wan la ganun ben de pa kay way mitin we monjang apat ku bugrut atad yi ngo betul eu che wada ek jam to monjang ka ke monjang ku men junub rajin wa dai odi ku ga bido dia lakin ken keda o tie o ga ti biat in long time o ga ti men ku mai ben ku ga biat lakin wada tiomna a chi wo ben biat wada tiomna ku chi go bi betet ngo betet bi pande ma jog bi tet ngo bi tet dik ka tong ci kan koj ka tong ci kan koj in labade ko bak tingi tan pen ken bu togu pat ku cin ku biwu kuma beke ka biyay bu donga sara ci dungi gwen bu tembe ituru ko cal ke kina bel wel mi da biyay en betien ko support ba wadi apin yit karo rin ngo wo wa ci ben luy zar we choga wane welo wala way tangam tang nun ta wan ta gam to go we go diaw yo mashara ka ken ka dang tok em kunu ko wan min ku ka ken ka dang tok ka we twej ku ya ko mon jeng jam de we kun ti ayi ki kay jam be biet e ka cham kay bit ha ayo mon jang net ka gat ka ja bi acha golo kala e ko mon jeng acha so Sudanese acha dollar ci yegi ngoy num ba mo way ka gel tu ñina bi lo yong ya e pano la ga yan ga yi mon jang jo jam de e pano kay way mitin ku ken mi da bi ay ken golo ku wan wi bi ka chay dom ci ka ne ki kum go ku mon jang abit ko kuma jinu Sudan abit kaja ci joli ka loy pan de ma joke ka loy pan ko la ro ke akuma den ukire ci jokwa e lo loy kala ko loy kala acha wa mit ku le kay wa Uganda ukire taw ale bu ganun ben la ka ba shay bu dom ka ki kay wan tu wan kay jen bala tin ma sabanti bu we wa topin we ci ko jwej ku jeje taw man jeje taw ku tin jeje taban ku jej no me taban ko criminal la war we ci ko jwej million time dollar mojrim timina cha che mojrim hiran bu ko herbe sigin kidi to loy ken chol ba me bajana o ni da won kor la ko mu ke ga ci dig mi dak edman kala ko jatem rul ko jo lirno kaka ben ya ga ting la ci de ken tweet lakina ba padmel akol ben padmel pan jubatan ke sien gen pad beni be pad ci dum guen ran ba bang masurde rinu mo man tweet be bet ya to pat man tweet chat dai ko loy rat e wadu ken ci wada o tweet kwaye ma surdu ku trial ke bekin bar khazal kay la werap ngay do ro to ko joli wan do ra be kadwan la ka tit monja kana ka we monjen ku yak tej angwin jikiu ache ban cham pande ma jokiu chike kiu ache tiom na kan ben jak ben in we en che loitin alona de etiop ke tiom nin tiop ke tiom nin tiop la ke tiom nin kedi ka ok tweet mayadit taban akoj we ya ping rolwon and ci jam in long time